horror films. We all have a love-hate relationship towards iconic cult classic films like Dracula, It, and Halloween. I will be discussing through collective memory why myths make it easier for us to connect through the use of narrative, plots, and themes. Horror films originated from classic German expressionism films like Dr. Caligari, asymmetrical camera angles, an extreme use of dark and light, and highly stylized sets, an unrealistic extreme of everything. Fear, threat, violence, or disaster, horror films seek to produce an unpleasant sensation for the audience. Some of these timeless themes can be traced back to stories and myths passed down through generations, archetypes that are an original pattern, copied and emulated. The weapons and gore used in The Purge follow in the tradition of the classic hack-and-slash horror movies of the 80s. The Purge films begin with the poor versus rich storyline. The new founding fathers, the government, create a holiday allowing all crime. For example, murder and violence on an annual day for 12 hours. The director James DeMonco appeals to our fears through the use of gore and violence, through our collective consciousness, our experience with the films, or manifestations of symbolic imagery. Each film plays on the good versus bad theme. The use of iconography has almost the entire film set at night. The Purge begins once the sun goes down in an ordinary house in the suburbs.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual Purge.
It's seen as holy to cleanse the poor. The repetitive use of the annual announcement on the TV before the Purge begins in all of the Purge series. It creates the fear before the violence begins. The film is set in spring when the flower bouquets are put outside people's houses before the purging begins. This makes us feel like this is the beginning of something pure. It also feels religious and somewhat ritualistic.
Mr. and Mrs. The man you're sheltering is nothing but a dirty homeless pig. A grotesque menace to our just society who had the audacity to fight back.
The mask has a faceless menace that creates tension and fear to the audience. The use of masks play on our fears. These masked people become nameless monsters we fear. The things we do not know or cannot see scare us. These stories and myths passed down through generations are what create the fear in horror films.
He's just let us purge. Toodaloo, Sanders.